Hi there, my name's Lydia and I'm the Mental Health and Wellbeing Coach for the Pharmacy Wellbeing Service. Today we're going to look through the Stress Awareness webinar, which can help you both personally and in the workplace. So who are Your Health? So we are a prevention, wellbeing and recovery service, and we include the Pharmacy Wellbeing Service. We can support pharmacy staff and their family members with any mental or physical wellbeing support. And just some examples are mental health, low mood, low level anxiety, healthy lifestyles and physical health. Okay, so what does the Pharmacy Wellbeing Service specifically include? So we offer one-to-one virtual support, so either telephone or video calls. We use a recovery style model to look at different aspects of that individual's life and work together to set goals and targets. We offer up to 12 weeks support with that individual, and we reflect on the progress on every appointment. We can also offer supportive resources. We can use our Your Health team, and also we can help with healthy living campaign support. We also have extra evenings and weekend appointments available for those who need it. Okay, so our objectives for today, we're going to be identifying stress, looking at the HSE standards. We're going to look at work stress, actions to manage stress, and some appropriate approaches or language to be used when managing employee stress. So what do we mean by stress? So the HSE defines work-related stress as the adverse reaction people have to excessive pressures or other types of demand placed on them at work. So we're just going to look at some signs and symptoms, starting with psychological. So we could be noticing an inability to concentrate or having a short-term memory. We might be becoming rather vague in things that we may be trying to explain. We could come across quite negative in our thinking when we're having those conversations with people. So we have behavioural signs and symptoms. Emotional, so perhaps tearful, irritable, or even having mood swings. Becoming sensitive to criticism or defensive. Procrastination, so avoidance of work and tasks. Or even becoming a workaholic, so perhaps taking on too much work or too many tasks. And absence, so perhaps avoiding work altogether. So taking a look at some physical symptoms. We may be becoming tired. We may be having some aches and pains. Perhaps getting some frequent colds. And perhaps some weight loss or even weight gain. So next we are going to be looking at the HSE 6 management standards. So these are 6 standards where, if addressed correctly, should be useful for avoiding that stress at work. So our first one, demands. So having the opportunity to manage things such as our workloads, perhaps our shift patterns. Control, so opportunity to control things such as appointments, perhaps promotional work, support, so talking to colleagues, sharing helpful resources for one another, relationships, having positive relationships at work and helping one another, our roles, so understanding our roles and the roles within an organisation, and therefore helping to increase our knowledge. And change, so understanding and managing change within organisations and how we approach these opportunities. So these are 6 management standards, and you can see how they perhaps relate to you and your workplace. So what could help stress at work? Ideas. So just a few ideas could be asking for support if needed, having them opportunities for training, new job roles, staff development, how well we know the different roles in the service. So perhaps if we did know each of those roles a little bit more, that could make our job a little bit easier as well. So taking control again of our workload, our appointments, making sure that we're in control of that demand. And taking time to socialise with colleagues and have opportunities for them extra activities. And also talking and how we can reduce our stresses together. Comes back to that supporting one another. And I've also attached a few links just to help support that stress and how to get some extra support for managing stress. So we're just going to talk about the stress container or the stress bucket. So how we look at the stress bucket is everything going inside the bucket being our stressors. So that could be work, that could be not managing our work, it could be unhealthy habits going in there, and eventually that bucket will overflow. And that's when we might start seeing some of those signs and symptoms of stress. So how to overcome this? We imagine that we put a small hole in the bucket and we release the stresses in there with our healthy habits, our coping mechanisms. So that could be going for a walk, it could be socialising, it could be managing that workload a little bit better, could be speaking to somebody, and just generally anything that will help you reduce that stress. So if we are letting that stress go at the bottom of the bucket or the container, we are managing that stress a little bit better and making sure that the bucket doesn't overload. So we're going to look at now 5 ways to wellbeing. So this could be a strategy that people can use to help manage that stress. So our first one is keep learning. So this doesn't have to be anything huge, it could be something that you've wanted to do for a while, perhaps a new recipe, colouring a new book, reading something new, but it could also be something such as a new course or something that you've wanted to learn for a while, a new instrument perhaps. Our second one is connecting. So that could be our socialising, that could be phoning one of our friends, it could be talking on FaceTime, it could be going out for a coffee. Just generally making sure we make that time to socialise. And this could also help with connecting with people and allowing them to help us and allowing them to offer that support, and us to also return that favour and offer them support too. So our third one is take notice. So some people might refer this to mindfulness. So being aware of the present moment. That could be in our daily lives. That could be taking 30 seconds, it could be taking 5 minutes. And practicing that mindfulness and being aware of what's around us. So giving is our next one. And again, it doesn't have to be anything huge. It could just be showing that gratitude, saying thank you for something that we receive, and just generally those acts of kindness. And our last one is being active. So again, this could be something just that we enjoy, if that's going for a short walk, if that's going to the park and playing football, whatever it is that you enjoy doing, it's just keeping that exercise levels and being active. So you can take a minute to sort of think about which one of these areas you might want to work on a little bit more, if any, and how maybe you could do that. And also if that relates back to your stress container. So we're going to look at how to approach a conversation with a colleague at work that is stressed, particularly upset perhaps. So first of all, it's really important to show empathy and to thank them for being able to tell you. It may also be worth having that conversation of asking how long have they felt like this and what might help, what solutions could there be. So giving that person an opportunity to talk if they feel comfortable to, and eventually asking, what can I do to help? If there's anything that they want from you or anything that they know that will help, that's brilliant. But then maybe asking, what can I do? What can I do to help you? So it's also important not to bombard with, suggestions, solutions, use them pauses, use that silence. It's a really good time to think of what they want and what they want to say. Now we're going to look at how to approach a conversation with a colleague that's becoming rather short-tempered, perhaps even rude at work. So it's important to maybe address the situation. I have noticed, or it's not like you. So, just making them aware that you've maybe noticed that something is wrong or that their behaviour has been noticed. But again, ask those questions. Has anything changed or happened? Give them an opportunity to speak and tell you what's bothering them. And again, ask those questions of what can I do to help? What might help? So it's giving them opportunities to have those conversations of, we've noticed that, things are a little different, you're acting a little different, or you might have done something, but it's what can we now do to help you? Have you thought of anything that you would like from us? What can I do? It's also important to highlight the impacts of the actions. So this could either be showing them what they've done or telling them, what they've done. So it is important to let them know what their actions have consequently done. And then it's very important to follow up with an action. So whatever the appropriate action may be for any particular situation, it's important then to follow up with an action with that colleague. So I'm just going to provide some contact details for the Pharmacy Wellbeing Service. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can either visit our website You can email us, or you can call us directly and ask for the pharmacy wellbeing service. So thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. We hope it's been useful for you. If you do have any questions regarding the presentation, please feel free to contact myself, or if you'd like to refer into the service, please feel free to contact the Pharmacy Wellbeing Service. And thank you again for watching this presentation.